I think in terms of a controller, it's somewhat been nerfed, but obviously for him, he's been using it similarly towards a Sentinel at times, so definitely going to be exciting to see how that played. And of course, we got a Neon in the server. Has Mitch made it back? I can't tell. Either way, taking control early. Of course, it's the attacker side start for Mech. They're going to try and make their move here, but almost trying to bait out some of that early utility from Fnatic on this defensive side. Wall already being broken apart, but ultimately it's just to make sure that they can split in either direction. And for the side of Fnatic, they don't have the complete story in terms of information. In fact, Derke maybe a little bit tempted to try and battle in, find out that extra info. Both 0 points going to land on either side of the map and try and fake things out a little bit, but it does seem like sheydos is now building his team up to go for this fight. It's the nade thrown through, but actually Chronicle is the first one to land a shot. Derke going in for a little bit more, and he's going to end up with 4 kills! A collapse to almost confirm the round, and now Nats is the only one remaining. I'm sure that Derke on the other side is going to want a little extra piece of the pie. Start things off as sheydos did in the previous map, and Nats is going to go peeking into the angle. Derke sets this off with a bang.
I mean, I only missed the first round, which makes me very sad then, because I'm sorry, Tom. I've just left you talking for like 10 minutes by yourself, but these things happen. I'm sure you got through it. I'm sure the folks at home loved it. And now things get worse because I'm back. 1-0, Fnatic. Defensive side. Hey, they got off to a good start with Derke flexing his muscles, but we know how dangerous this attack side from Mech can be. With pistols in their hands, they've bested Fnatic on just the first map in this series twice on their attack side. Let's see what they can do here on Split. Plenty of close range options, and of course, with a headhunter in the hands of Chronicle, he can take some ranged fights as well.
You fought well.
Brave in that crossfire, and while they're being torn apart, only one player remaining, and sheydos, it's not going to get anything. A flawless round, a single kill.
Or play for a Nord, maybe try to catch something. Of course, just look at how Mech are approaching this. They're playing default out there. I like the Neon from Defo starting out with the shock. Gonna stun them out in towards B main, deny that control. And they've stopped them from really going for any sort of early round aggression towards this B and mid side, which is just free real estate for Mech.
You can see Boaster just setting up with a flash. He's going to actually counter theirs moments after throwing it, and, well, it's only going to be the one, but still a little bit dangerous. Defo gone, normally the entry man for the squad with a hell of a lot of utility on the other side. I will say that on this attacking side, Chronicle also just works as that second entry, and from what we've seen so far from it, it is pretty filthy. Nonetheless, an early trade in a round like this for Fnatic, it's not bad.
And not at all. Now they've even come in with another. Okay, Nats is down. And a little bit of control for braveaf atop the wall. Good flash deals with him. Numbers even back up. Fnatic have to rotate to the B site. MAGNUM playing late on the ramp is going to be in a little bit of trouble if he loses the fight. It's about to go down towards heaven, and he has. You know, with I just saw Derke get a kill on B. He's on A before them. He's beat them. He's gotten to A before they've made it to B from heaven and caught them on the cross. There's one. There's two.
God.
That brings him up to a triple in this round.
A brimstone. It's not even like he was stimmed or anything. That was just sheer movement.
Exactly the same moment. There's two players in A heaven, and he beats them and catches them on the cross of A. Like, that blast pack was gorgeous. Flights is rubbing his hands with that.
Ah, you hate to see it. You can't jump up with the slowdown, and well, the headhunter's gone at least for a second, but more importantly, there's quite a lot of information there for Boaster. That's the main goal. Use that 0 point, find out where the opponents are currently set up, and again, they're going to go flashing in for that extra control of ropes. Still, though, Boaster's managed to keep this position for now, at least, and with the screen, he's able to rotate. Did Chronicle see something? I guess he must have done as it faded, otherwise that's madness.
Yeah. The connection, oh, look, it's not the end of the world, but making that little bit easier to chip down that braveaf, forced out of position. Well, they've dealt with Nats. It's the heaven control I'm worried about. You can see that Mech are gearing up for it, trying to catch that line of sight right onto Brave. Working the picks in this round is all well and good, but 35 seconds left. Eventually, yeah, you're going to have to make a decision here as Mech. You're going to have to blitz in. And they're going towards the right side of the map here, Tom. Only Mistic to defend B. This is starting to get a little bit worrying. Good paranoia, but he doesn't catch Redgar with it. Oh, Defo is 1-to-1 traded the showstopper. That's as good as it gets. A 2v3 for Mech, where they come in with pistols. And now it looks like they'll get the plant.
10 seconds
There's
left.
also the lurk from Chronicle. I don't think they're going to expect anybody to still be here, but the timing just about works out. They also have a snake bite to try and force the player off, but Redgar, with an almost instant kill, leaves it just onto Boaster. They may not expect him to have pushed this far forward so quickly, but they have a wonderful crossfire, and how Nats is actually going to make this Astra work, because it like, especially on the defensive side, I can definitely see how it could work as like a sentinel, like him just locking positions down, but he has to be so selective now with where his stars are used, otherwise they won't have smokes for an execute.
I mean, that's very much the thing, right? You've got to be much more calculating. But for a player like Nats, maybe that won't be a struggle. Looks like Mech are going to be moving into this fast mid blitz again, and hello, Defo! He is coming around those corners at light speed. Brave can't get out of the smoke. Even had a fragment right at his feet. This is a tough start to the round for the defensive side, and well, it ain't getting any better with Derke going down.
Yeah, as his early round destruction is quickly diminished as it got into the proper buy. Well, I say proper buys, the last was still pistols, but Redgar stepping up, and fair enough for MAGNUM. He's just going to try and get himself a little bit closer to that Viper's Pit. The problem is his weapon for retaking these angles.
30 seconds left.
It should be an impossibility, especially with Defo just still lurking here. There's no way he loses that duel.
There.
Yeah. Quick and clean about sneaking him into vents. And here Mech managed to do it in just a matter of seconds. Now, I wonder if we'll see that when it comes to a buy round, though, in one of the future ones. That same level of aggression out of Defo. I would love to see the attempt, at least. Especially with a breach.
Here we go again. That control has almost been given up. The thing is, for Fnatic, they've been giving this up in most of the buy rounds. I think it was just something a little bit cheeky being attempted by Boaster. Again, though, we're just seeing this back and forth of utility over on this side of the map. And interestingly, Chronicle, you see this all popped often in an economic position. Well, he's just playing it in this round because they have got so much economy behind them that it gives them that extra little bit of range when challenging outside of A.
That's a good start.
You know, I look at this situation for Mech. They're going in through this control constantly and winning the duels. Finally, though, they're going to be put to a stop on that heaven and vent control. It's not Boaster, who had been trying to play those angles earlier in the eco and so on. But it doesn't quite matter. Having Derke, having MAGNUM there to deal the damage leaves Mech really reset back into the early round. They've got no extra control past vent room, which has been given up by Fnatic pretty much every round. They've reset into mid, which is just going to leave them in... Someone has to be a hero. They're running into a 3-player B stack in a 3v3. And all the utility there for Fnatic as well. Best of luck to them. With 10 seconds left on the clock, they've got to go quickly.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, it's gone about as expected.
Yeah, a slaughter in the end, and On Cold is the one given a lot of the credit for that, but it's something that just makes a lot of these early takes in that direction incredibly difficult. And again, you're going to see the same sort of like split setup, the default held by Mech, hoping that they catch someone on the aggression, but it is a very passive position right now out from Fnatic. They are not giving anything away.
Well, again, very similar to what we've seen from them, right? I mean, Boaster tried to flash down into vent, tried the closer end of the eco, but other than that, I mean, it's rare to see a Fnatic member step foot around middle. I mean, that can't be happening. Just straight through the wall, taking him down, like can't see a thing, doesn't matter. Boaster's down, A side. Looks like it's open for business. You still got MAGNUM here, and he's taking the fight right to them. What a lunatic. Viper's Pit used up, and oh, look, the rest of the players are up in heaven, so they're not necessarily upset or distraught about that. Instead, they're going to redirect this entirely, moving back to middle, while Nats tries to lurk inside of Viper's Pit. Not many players are brave enough to attempt that. And
oh, it's gorgeous.
Spike down, B.
Oh, just cleaning it up. The paranoia coming through to slow them just as Derke made it. With all these close angles, it's just the power of that paranoia.
Well, that's it. You know, many players doubted the ability of Omen in the past, but you can see it here on a map like Split especially. Oh my god, man, the slow, the nade. Well, Defo tried to take some space, just like we've seen him do countless times over towards the vents, but oh, it's not as easy as dropping down into the ropes, it seems. 5 versus 4, Mech moving to the A site. Well, they've got that control nicely. Fnatic are content with playing a retake. Very late Redgar look as well.
That's a good spot.
Yeah, the potential, but he needs his teammates to buy for time. Luckily, he does seem to have the right mem for the job already. Smoke down, going to destroy that extra bit of utility. Nats is already down, but sheydos has done this just to give time for that flank. Redgar already going to find one, and it's getting a little bit awkward now for the Fnatic boys, as another is going to be caught. Chronicle still within the site, and well, the time is ticking. They need to get a move on if they're going to get anything done, and he still has that information available to him. One drop, but the trade is fast, and well, sheydos is currently outside of the site. The retake will work in the end, even with the clock ticking fairly low. It should just about be there, but only a second left. And considering the scenario they start,
Seems like it would be worthwhile to stay under the radar, but then again, maybe I did misread it. Maybe it was just after the first kill or just as he got it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but either way, just a couple seconds in between it. It's a heartbreaking loss. Well, he's been doing that almost every round. I guess it's only a matter of time before it went wrong.
Brave just like, that's enough of that. All right, listen up. Stop just trying to sprint past us. Again, we're going to see this one-way setup. A Mistic, this is the thing. His job here is just to delay as much as possible. It's something he's been an expert at across multiple agents at this point, going on Viper in the past, also, of course, on his Astra, and now even sets up a different smoke just so they can't use his own one-way against him, and he gets that control back. Just buying so much time, and there's already some like weaker weaponry in this sort of round and a man disadvantage, so Mecha just really hoping for some way back into this.
Okay.
Ooh,
nicely
he
done,
gets
Chronicle.
out.
Yeah, he's able to get out of there with the TP, so Derke's
all.
ult comes to nothing. You're going to have the operator now to play with, essentially, to throw the false on the way out. Mistic is gone. Brave shortly to follow, and now things become very scary indeed. Boaster can't even get his flash popped before he's being taken down by Chronicle, and they know the exact angle that Magnum's got to be coming from. They've got mid, they've got B main. It only leaves this spawn. Nicely handled by Mech, and a huge round from Chronicle.
Like, again, I don't want to be a scoreboard warrior, but that is absurd.
Yeah, it really and truly is. He's had 2 showstoppers, right? So far. Oh, big play. braveaf, Derke, both getting the mid control and backing out immediately. That's exactly what you want for a team like Fnatic, who haven't played around mid at all. They've even conceded control over ropes in what I would say is 80-90% of the rounds, bar the eco where Boaster held up close. And this round, first couple seconds, there's 2 guys facing you. You're not going to expect that, and that pace change yields a massive reward.
Yeah, it's a great call. Like, you can see that Defo was setting up the exact same play he'd made, like put down his walls and just try and sprint his way through mid, but the fact is this time they were prepared for it, and now again they're in trouble. They need to find some sort of reaction back. It's going to be the push towards heaven, but the problem is there's already 3 players here in somewhat of a crossfire. Brave doesn't even really need to fight this, but he decapitates Nats, and now they've just jumped down into what is a horrific crossfire to try and survive from. In fact, only one of them did, as sheydos was almost just waiting up above, and they now even know where he is as well.
Yeah, Mistic's holding him in, and although a nice shot is connected, that is the first of what needs to be 5. An ace clutch in 20 seconds. At least he's got the spike with him, but that's about where the benefits start to disappear. Yeah. Gonna run away and try to save this weapon.
10 seconds left.
That's 7 rounds in the defense already. Pretty solid.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, again, like we're looking at this map as still being incredibly strong in the defense, so I don't think that there's going to be too much of a worry. Of course, the only time...
Back through, and I just feel like, for me, looking at Nats right now in this half, very underwhelmed by the Astra pick.
Yeah.
Especially in such an important game like this. But there's still time. There's still time for it to work when that goes to defensive side. Still, I want to see a little bit more out of Mech before we get there. Push themselves up to the, maybe at least the 4 rounds, right? Give them a buffer if they lose the next pistol.
Yeah, it seems like the agent is a lot less on the fly. Like, you can see him placing a lot of his stars down, and that just is almost where they have to be used because of the retrieval time being so much higher. And then the fact is, a lot of that has now become quite telegraphed, of this smoke being down to almost section off the space into mid. A lot of the time, Brave is also just walling it to make sure they can't actually garner that control. And then it just becomes almost an early round information / utility battle for, I say early round, most of the round, because we're now down to the 40-second mark, and we're only just starting to really realize where Mech are going to go. And for Fnatic, they've not really moved much.
In fact, they've even just used their knife to clear out rope room, right? To guarantee they're not inside the vents just now. There's some noise on mid, moving towards
left.
B. And with that, Fnatic think they've read the information that this is going to be a B play. They start to rotate, but it's a little early. Now, Boaster tries to retake control of Heaven. Well, if he does that, he's running into 3 or 4 players. Instead, he'll move down to his teammate, try to play this one together. Maybe a flash out the smoke coming through. Although I see now that he goes back up into Heaven, and they're going to take this together. 4 players from Fnatic looking to seize this control. Nats has already been spotted. He runs away to try and keep himself alive for a little bit longer, cause that extra angle for them to have to clear, but he's down and dealt with. Now they look towards the rest of the side on the retake. Sheydos, the first to be targeted and dealt with. The close left corner in danger. Defo is gone as well. It's Redgar to clutch it again. The same position as before. This time just 15 HP and absolutely no hope. So he is out of here while Fnatic pick up an 8th. This is starting to become
about Neon being this fast-paced agent, where it doesn't matter what agent Derke's playing if he doesn't let go of W.
Yeah. Everyone on Fnatic has got 6 kills, while Derke is up on 19. This is a dominant half so far for the defensive side of Fnatic. They did pick up the pistol, so we'll give a little bit more wiggle room to Mech. But again, if they don't win this round, coming into the next half, that pistol becomes so valuable. I mean, it's just not a risk that you want to run as this attacking side. Same little bit of aggression coming out of Defo, and the same map controls taken for free. With a minute left on the clock, they can go anywhere they want at this point. Remember, they've still got control outside of B. They know that the players haven't pushed up all the way there. So, no! Boaster! That was not worthwhile. He is down for just a nade, and with that, that's the advantage for Mech.
If they can reclaim this control, they do have the res, but it definitely seems like Mech are aware of this. They are not willing to just give this up for free. They currently don't have anything covering off the spawn. There's a couple of players there. You can see the star just going down, but this time the spam for Magnum, well, it's huge. That's the spike on the ground. Luckily, Defo is just about quick enough to get out of there without too much trouble, and they will have their after plant after all.
Oh, Derke has ended up losing out on that duel. There's a way back in for Mech with Nats holding on to their flank, moving up to cover in Heaven as well with his teammate. Himself and Chronicle can play that crossfire, keep the top control, and it's planted for them. Something that Fnatic are going to have to be aware of. What has just happened? Nats is the last alive. You blink and you miss it, literally. And those shots, well, they missed. That's for sure. 9 on the board at the halftime. Fnatic just come out with an incredible first half on the decider. Mech are going to have to...
Evil time, also just the amount of delay. If you do go for any sort of stun, then you've got to wait, well, I think it's 45 seconds before you get it again. And, well, the other problem is just not having as many stars. Chronicle, though, as said, this is the half where, for me, like, him and Defo looked really impressive last time. I was pleasantly surprised with how they managed to play and how much map control they're able to challenge for. So I'll be intrigued to see how it works this time.
Well, Defo finished out that last half with 3 kills, and I think that left him on the last 8 or 9 rounds with nothing done. It's been a really, really rough map for him so far. Nats is still alive on 70 HP after spamming away, and he has made it out of that side alive. Still, they need some kills. They need to maintain some control, and it hasn't gone well for Defo to start with. Now, with Heaven lost, these players on site, they get pressured. I like the orb down. It's actually Fnatic's orb that provided some cover for Mech. That said, the cover didn't seem to do all that much. Putting them down at 40 HP. Chronicle 1v5. Hey, he's got 5 bullets in the head, Hunter.
Spike
You never know. Well, there we go.
Oh, that's so cursed. Just there we go.
Why are there two
Mac.
shorties? Sell those. Sell those. Oh, I hate you.
Oh, they're cheap, you know? It's not costing them much.
Defo with a shorty and Neon shorty. You look me in the eyes and tell me that's okay.
I can't use that.
Sliding in short. Oh, shit. It's making me scared.
That could be worse. It could be a Yoru.
And I really
think
like
getting-
Yara this update, I'll be honest. I love him.
You can see that Fnatic are still going to take this one nice and slow. They've got all of their utility available, making sure they clear some of these positions. Chronicle's the main danger man here, although Nats has managed to get one from the back lines. Sheydos in the crossfire as well. Luckily, Mistic is there, and the punish. Only 2 bullets in the clip. Nats again still fighting tooth and nail, and Redgar was very far behind. Will eventually come in, but this could be a surprise, you know? It's so late. Oh, no.
Yeah, so you've just noticed.
Oh, no.
You've just noticed.
Yeah, I didn't
He
know
can make
he
it to the
was
side.
Planted.
He's, oh no. Oh no, he's made it on!
Enemy
He's
remaining.
got the kill as well! Even the weapon picked up now. No info on the... Whoa, he's actually guessed it right! Great damage. Derke on 10 HP. Redgar actually clutches it. A shorty in from B main. And that's how Mech get their 4th round. What is with these guys and pistols? Why are they so good with them?
Himself out of there, though, while blind was also quite impressive. Oh, Chronicle's already got the first kill of the round. Blink and you miss it. All right, cool.
Yep. Standing straight in the middle of mid, and then TP's out of there. Nicely handled to give the advantage over to Mech. After winning out that previous round with nothing but a shorty, now they open this one out. Fnatic, well, they've only got a couple of pistols, so you're not favoring them in these fights for the most part. And I say that as braveaf just completely beheads Chronicle. Nice nade, a little bit of damage. Defo's gonna make an instant rotate.
Yeah, there's still a couple of players within this site. Like, even with the control that's there, it's going to be tough. They've tried to bait this out a little bit with Boaster being walled in, maybe able to take some closer battles, but just getting onto this site is going to be incredibly difficult, and they almost need to try and isolate one of these players, but you can see that they're currently watching each other's back, and the main problem now is the clock is starting to tick down. MAGNUM, though, maybe getting a little bit further than they might have expected him to, but
30
Defo at the
seconds left.
last moment will switch his gaze back around. Boaster has also caught Nats now. Mistic hits a headshot, and this might actually give them the site controlling back. No, they're running all the way back to A.
Well, they know the rotates have come through. Yeah, Defo and Redgar are here, so why bother trying to fight it? The plant can be safely secured. It's for heaven as
10
well.
seconds left.
They've got control only with one player there. Weaker weapons, low HP, no shields. This is tough for Fnatic to hold on to. You can see that they're not even trying to fight. They're not even trying to catch these guys off guard. They want to hide away and run this clock down as much as physically possible. I'm looking at them, though. No utility on Mistic or Boaster. If that spike is tapped, someone's going to have to go and get line of sight on it.
One enemy remaining.
There you go. That's when it comes through. Defo with the quick 2 kills. The round goes their way. It's costly, but they get it.
Did Mistic put a smoke on the site just to play with the mind of his opponent? Just
Teleport's ready.
Oh, Chronicle. Oh, he's not able to TP out. That doesn't deter him. I like that he's just sticking around even despite that. Wants to get the fight, wants to take the duel, and well, he's going all the way to their spawn to do so. No dice, though. Not going to be finding anyone there. Derke taking that control. They've got their vent room. Doesn't come at a heavy cost, really. They need to take main back if they want to have any notion of moving here. And, you know, really, Chronicle's just trying to apply that pressure. Keep the information. He's going to TP back now. Oh, that flash didn't get him. So he's still here. He's still going up. And there's Boaster down. Spike
down,
in his
B.
control. And he knows another player is waiting to take that duel still, though the rest of the team's likely on their way. So there's no point in him steaming forward and overcommitting.
oh, the timing here could be everything. 2 players watching, stunned through. Derke will be able to escape, but that's about all for now. still leaving that man advantage, and they've taken no map control. They just currently have mid with 35 seconds left. Mech have done an incredible job of just delaying this, but Derke, he's a little bit sneaky, uses their own smoke to try and stop them catching him, but the stuns in combination will drop that man to the deck. Now Redgar, he's spotted them already. He knows exactly where they are.
Well, that wall up's at least going to buy Fnatic a little bit of time as they move to the site, but they've got to deal with Nats. That wall up actually buys him a lot of space. 2 kills for Defo with it.
What?
How?
What? I'm another eco, and look at this setup. It's dirty.
Well, the stun to start off gets Derke out of there. Luckily, he was still able to TP. They jump from sheydos through the smoke. See what else comes their way. Chronicle's got a decent position. I mean, the problem here being that they're up against pistols. And the positions they're in right now allow them to be isolated in 1vx duels, allow them to be overwhelmed by numbers. Luckily, Fnatic are taking a much slower approach, and now that TP is back down. The anchor is going to allow Chronicle to move back to the site if he gets pressured. So he's able to keep holding this aggressive angle, maintain control over that spike, and pretty much lock in this round for them, pending no incredible shots from Fnatic.
I love how the rendezvous gives Chronicle the confidence to fight, knowing that he can escape, and then he just doesn't escape. It's almost just like, it just makes him more cocky. It's like, I could leave right now. I'm not going to, but I could, but I'm still not going to. And it just kills everyone and then goes, I could TP now if I want. It almost seems like if you just gave him that get out jail free card before, he would have just been destroying everyone for, well, a ridiculous amount of time. Again, 30 seconds. I don't know how Fnatic find anything from this, and the spike being dropped. They just were splitting up and looking for clues, and all they found is death. 10-7. Mech already be seeing this comeback from happening, so there needs to be a drastic change.
They are so dead.
Look at this man.
He can't go further than this, right? This is where his limit is, because he's got his rendezvous behind him. On paper, he shouldn't be. Oh, it's going to catch him off, surely. He's fired off and still gets one, but he can't get out on time. That TP not quite instantaneous, as he's finding out the hard way. Derke with that kill. He already had a showstopper online, but it's not going to be used. Not this time. Redgar cancels it out. Oh! Quickly done by Derke. He's going to try to finish the kill. That might get his showstopper back out, but he's out of ammo, and now he's being hunted down. It comes with a huge cause. They're even going to attempt the res here. Nats taps it for just a second. He's going to run out of time, though. Redgar's down. Not going to be able to get him back up and online. That flash dangerous. Nats still gets out on top. 1v2. sheydos with it all to do. At least the spike is down at his feet, though. Or just up above. Fnatic, with 39 seconds, they can go anywhere they want. This is going to be a slow one. Going up that rope, though, would just signal death, surely.
30
They
seconds
forced him
left.
back at least, but still haven't really managed to take that ground just yet. Mistic a little bit further back. They're going to try and peek this together. sheydos is so quick on the trigger, but
4 between them. Meg, they've had one hell of a start to this. Chronicle is slowed, and he heard that knife come through, saw the slow orb, and didn't give it down. He was happy to just sit there and take that fight anyways. Admirable for sure. Derke's running up mid, got the control again. Boombot's been going to this position most rounds just to seize this little bit of space. But so far, we haven't seen them try to take it towards Redgar and really test his control over Heaven. This time, we see the entirety of Fnatic coagulate around this A side. It's definitely feeling like Redgar is going to have a big round.
Cover going out.
yeah, pressure about to be put onto him. Oh, it could be with pretty good timing for him, but it is actually only going to be the trade, and Derke has found Defo elsewhere, leaving Nats within the site. He's got himself a cosmic divide, almost looking to just try and play in front of it, and well, the res will come through eventually. Trying to res his opponent is not something I'm sure Brave would want to be doing in this scenario. The thing is, though, Chronicle already rotating in. I think they're starting to doubt themselves, even starting to swap back towards that B site as sheydos, and we'll leave just a couple of players here.
And really, it's situational for Fnatic. You know, not necessarily a choice to leave it that late. They just didn't have a smoke to put down. Waited for the refresh. Boaster's being shot down. Nats staying close, says Derke. Drop in out of absolutely nowhere. Materializing on the site. And with the Viper's pit down, Chronicle tries to make a play. It's not to be. It's to A, and that's where the spike's gone down.
Oh no, there is no escape. It's patient from Brave again, but they now need 5 rounds in a row.
Yeah, you put it that way, certainly does seem a lot more difficult. Some of these early attempts, you know, in towards B main, towards middle here for Chronicle, like we're seeing now, haven't really worked out. And they've noticed that play from Derke, that he's seizing the space time and time again. This time, though, he looked for B heaven. He's got it. And oh, I felt like Defo was going down just with the kind of game he's been having so far. He's managed to survive. Rolling Thunder's going to be used. Oh, but now he's gone. Now he's taken down, of course, as he makes his way towards the spawn. Redgar, though, with a big flank. Nade down as well. Buys a little bit of time, a little bit of space. Derke goes right back up top, though. Is he going to be able to snag this? Just about. Yeah, he's out of there with spike in hand.
Hey, he's almost got himself a showstopper as well. It could be a game changer towards the latter stages of the round. A 3v3 retake. It was looking done with Derke's entries, making this one almost look like an inevitability for this Fnatic side. Instead, though, there's still an opportunity here for Meg. Mistic within the smoke will already drop one, give them that advantage back once again. The remaining 2 trading effectively, keeping it into this 2v2 scenario, but they may not know the Magnum's still within this corner, still just sat back watching onto the spike. He knows nobody's on it. They have to clear this together, and they will. Mech again, never down, never out, and they've got themselves an 8th.
It's going to be a long road with 4 more rounds needed to push to OT, but...
And they didn't manage to go at all. I believe as well the other match that they lost was versus FPX, so I don't think they want that to recreate itself either. Slightly different iteration of the roster, but maybe they're just doing things backwards this time. Even still, though, this purchase is not ideal. Like, I'm looking at a Stinger, which is not something I ever want to look at as an option for a player within this map, so... I guess Magnum is almost just waiting to see, okay, is this going to be a B main push, and can I kill him with this P shooter?
It's one of the main concerns here with that showstopper online for Derke. At any given moment, you'll hear that noise, you hear that voice line, Mech are going to be scattering to the winds. This is something they're on edge about. You got 4 rounds left to play out. Avoiding something like this is essential, and right away, Nats is going to be caught. Sorry. They actually looked for the information outside, so they're trying to catch Mistic and see that he was out, but I don't think they will have seen him, right? I don't know if you spotted if he got detected by that knife. Either way, though, they are shifting towards the B side convincingly.
Yeah, the problem again, though, is that time is ticking. There's still the stuns available as well for Defo, which makes this terrifying. Like, he can basically just slow the entirety of this push, and Fnatic are basically making this move so incredibly late that they are going to get caught. Magnum's already down. Sure, the spike's still behind, but they got 15 seconds to make this move. The TP to the site's not going to do too much. Derke, though, will manage to find one. As you mentioned, sheydos with a quick trade, and actually, Brave is watching for that remaining player. At the last second, he's going to be able to get this plant down, but the remaining players are pushing it. Boaster needing this 1 versus 2, and it just won't happen. Mecha too quick to put that pressure on. Again, the rounds come close, but again, it's Mech on top.
Yeah, so far it feels like Mech moving towards the site, having their 3 players in the B site, their late round default, is exactly what they need because of the way that they're making a mistake and blitz into a site. Whether it's A or B, that mid to site split is always coming through. And we've seen the adaptations from Mech. This one in particular, Chronicle trying to duel, didn't work last time.
Not quick enough.
It certainly hasn't worked that time.
See, this is the difference. And again, it's going to sound like I'm harping on Big, but he got away with that a lot versus Big because he'd push it, he'd headshot someone, and he's gone. By the time he's headshot someone, either Derke or now Brave has reactively killed him before he can do anything. And in this occasion, he didn't even get a kill for it. He was hoping, kill, teleport out. Well, instead, he just got shot in the face.
It's a terrible start to the mid control for Mech. Not as poorly as it could have gone, especially because
for Derke.
it's the fact that they lose Chronicle right now. They have this complete void of information to play around. Defo's not even going to be able to try and stun them as they come through because he's hit up by that knife right away. Boaster making all this noise, all this presence, but the rest of the team is going elsewhere. Nat's still waiting for them, catches the first and the second spike down at his feet. That is huge. He even continues to aggress. Nats is taking the whole team down. But for the wallbang of Defo, I think that would have been an...
his utility or abilities. It was just his raw positioning. But again, the difference is now 2. They needed 5 in a row. Chronicle, he's still going for this. He's going for it again. And this time, well, it's free. Boaster runs out with a knife in hand and Chronicle's out of there.
Well, that is certainly going to be a tough pill to swallow, starting things out for Fnatic. A player down, and it's their information, their initiation, leaving them just with 1 flash in the form of Mystics. As strong as it can be. You know, you got to look at his position. Think, where is he realistically going to be playing that? And, well, there it is up towards heaven. They'll fight for that side, but there's no one here. What did we talk about before? Super passive play out of Meg. These guys love to just play back way behind the site and pick you off as you go over to it. They've just grabbed another kill doing exactly that. And Fnatic, well, they freeze again because there is no gap. There is no opening for them right now. They don't know what to do.
I thought for a second maybe Brave was going to take the orb and then at least he'd be 1 away from the res, but even still, like, getting a kill and getting back to one of those players seems impossible. And actually Fnatic are just deciding to save. It really is just like they're running straight into a brick wall at this point. The early aggression of Chronicle, whether it fails or succeeds, doesn't actually seem to have much relevance to the rest of the team. Like, it's just incredible work with not only finding information but also delaying. And I think that's what this comp does incredibly well. Like, you might look at a Neon and you're thinking, fast pace, blitzing through, but in fact, that's not the way that Defo uses it. He's using it to slow them down whenever they try and challenge into mid, and, well...
Remember, these guys, they got plenty of cash, so there's a weapon right at their feet they can pick up after, but this initial fight is going to be so off-putting for Fnatic. I mean, you cannot expect to run into a play like this. If they blitz, though, they might have a good chance, and already they've managed to force Defo back. I don't think he got his rifle. He didn't. He still got the op.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the best opper on the ball at the moment? It seems like none of them. And not a single shot connected so far, and... well, Defo will be able to fall back to the site. He's got a smoke available. Redgar's gone. Derke looking back on form once again, and Defo under pressure. He's got Derke trying to wrap round, and he's being cornered. Still manages to find a headshot. And Chronicle looking to push back into the site.
Oh, that connection. It only takes down Boaster, who just been rezzed. But Chronicle does well even still. That's a man removed and flashes out of the play for Fnatic. You're going to have to do this on just raw aim duels, and it's not going well. Easily able to take that triple shake. Onto the Navi game. London United. Kill, like, these guys are just smashing. M3 have been challenged by FPX in a close series. Everyone else, they have just been categorically better than. And now Mech are coming in up against Fnatic, the only other team that has looked dominant in this as well. And we're getting the same series. To me, that's a clear top 3 establishing itself. And right here and now, I mean, you are 2 rounds away from making it to Iceland. I cannot believe we don't have more of a timeout in between these, with the players wanting to, like, not only take a breather, I'd want to go on a swift walk. You know, I want to go out, see nature for a minute. Just gather myself, meditate, you know. Here we go.
We're right back to it. It's that early ropes control, counter utility being used. Mech very happy to play a slow game on this attacking side. It definitely wasn't perfect, but it had its strengths about it. And you can still see the spike lurking on that other side of the map. Now, I don't remember how many kills Nats had in that first half. It wasn't a lot. It was very low, in fact. He's leveled up since then. Yeah, it was 1 or 2. His defensive side was fantastic. And that was exactly what we're expecting from this Mech team. Can they now dig deep and find something on the other side? Look at sheydos selling this. He has kept 3 players on that side of the map, Mitch, but there's still 2 on A.
Yeah, here come all the steps. And, you know, Boaster and MAGNUM, they're hearing that, but they've got the crossfire as well. Boaster's got to get some value from down below. He's dropped on, and only good for the 1. The setup falls apart on this A site, and Mech have got the plant. Oh, they've got the round by the looks of it. 4 versus 2. Mistic and braveaf need to dig deep if they're going to come up with anything in this. And instantly we get the stun, so Mystic's not going to be able to do all too much in terms of popping that last smoke down for a moment. It's just a waiting game. Mech have got a beautiful setup.
Headshot. Well, he's trying to fake it, almost trying to bait someone into peeking him, but they're not just falling apart based off 1 shadow step. It's going to take a lot more than that to break this team apart. They have come back from a deficit which looked nigh on impossible, and by the looks of it, they're about to take the lead with the attacking round. Then all they need to do is what they've done for the remainder. And well, Mistic can't do anything about it. 13-12.
Man, this is tough. And for Fnatic, well, it's now or never. Let's see if they can make it all the way into that upper slot.
He jumps into the slow. The thing is that he's now gone and got them the information that there's nobody there.
They've rotated to B even still.
But look at, yeah, but it's because of Nat's position. It's because he's so deep. They'll have this information incredibly early, and then he'll have support from Redgar as well. The other thing as well is, do you expect Nats to be on this close corner? Well, with the flash in hand, I think they do. He's going to be completely blind and destroyed because of it. Nat's dead. Redgar needs to go big. The flashbangs are good. He gets one and actually escapes.
That's great. Got a lot more than it looked like he was going to get. Derke on the hunt, though. Doesn't want him to get out of here just yet. They've got the control, and they're going to look for the plant now in just a moment. Boaster spike in hand. I thought someone walked towards that smoke, and I had a mini heart attack, but it looks like it's going to be secured. Plant down, and Mech have to play the retake. A retake for Iceland. And they're taking their time on it, letting Chronicle try to work some of these angles with the operator first. It's the right play. The flash is good. MAGNUM stepping it up here and now. This might just be enough for Fnatic to claim another OT.
Yeah, now it's sheydos' turn to try and pull off the impossible clutch. He's had a great day today in terms of individual brilliance, but just MAGNUM wasting his time, just baiting him in, and he's getting frustrated. Just, I've got to kill this man, and even still, I can't do it. MAGNUM for the previous 12 before them.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, you are, you've already played 12 times, or now 13 against whatever it is, their attack or their defense. Start to run deep into the book, whether it's your own strat book or whether you're trying to figure out what theirs is and counter it. It becomes very tough when you get to OT with the mind games. Second OT, and we just keep them going. It only gets even more difficult to deal with. So it's Defo attempting something that cost him his life before, but okay, it works out this time. What are they going to do with it?
Yeah, you see the same spam come through from Brave, but ultimately it's just to try and deter that push. Wall buying a little bit of extra time, but as said, like, Mech really don't care about that clock being low. They've still got the majority of their players set up outside the B site, and there hasn't been any aggression from Fnatic, so they don't have that information. Instead, they're going to look to start reclaiming some of that ground, and the Boombot might give them the info they need.
No,
That definitely will.
I mean, they're still sitting here, though, waiting to fight as they come on out of mid, but that timing is absolutely perfect as mechs start to make their way forward. Fnatic are under heavy pressure on the site. Heaven control completely given up. The utility starting to come in. It's at that moment that they step it up, but mech, they come right back into it. Chronicle with another leaves MAGNUM to do it all with Boaster's death, although he's still helping out with a kill from the grave. 2 to go. MAGNUM's been solid so far. Player just about to peek his left. That timing, oh, it works out so poorly for him. They call that swing on the crossfire just the...
It's prepared to face that he ends up getting both of those kills. Massive round from him in OT, and yeah, Chronicle coming up with a triple in the end. It's now left onto this attack once more of Fnatic. Mech in the driver's seat again.
Well, Fnatic, we're probably in the middle of booking their flights, figuring out, hey, what time? You a morning flyer or an evening flyer? And within just a couple minutes, half an hour or so, it looks like they might have a few more games on the cards before they're able to make it the full way. Face into an elimination. That's a lot to work against. Mech, I just need this one, but Redgar's being caught off. Still, quick flank by Mech coming in through the vent room. They're gonna have Chronicle here before they'll expect him, but the shots are whiffed. That's a big problem. Defo goes up to follow, but he's also gonna be caught. Nats trying to put up a fight on the site's the only one to get any kills here. And that, well, that spells a big problem out for the M3Cers. This is looking to be OT number 3 indeed. Many straight pushes out of this team. You know, this is definitely a team that likes to take its time a little more. Now they're gonna start this round out playing for that knife to come through. They want Boaster to look for the information right at the start. He doesn't, waits a moment, And it comes through a little bit late. Now they start to push on up, knowing their utility can't be stopped. They're on the way to site. Defo already lost most of his health. He's down to just 6, and then he's deleted. But that flash deals with Boaster. The trade's good. The site there's the plant open for Heaven, but they haven't got Heaven control. They haven't even attempted to take it so far. Fnatic are holding on to it. In fact, they're mounting a little bit of a retake of their own, wanting to mount this fight towards the ramp, and they've run into nets. That blind is perfect, but a little bit too late. And now it's going to be left just into the hands of Mistic. Sadly, it's not enough.
Again, Fnatic on the back foot, but we've seen this many a time, looking to see if Mech have the stones to close this. And again, Chronicle's going walkabouts. It could be everything, but it's bait. Derke's won that fight so many times at this point. He seems like he's got Chronicle's number, and again, they're going to have to play with a disadvantage. But as we said before, that fight has not been the defining factor of this Mech defensive half.
Well, yeah, clearly, because they've lost that fight pretty much every time, right? I mean, the most they've come out of that with is a 1-to-1 trade. That was a win in their book. It's definitely being grim. At the same time, they're getting that control on their side as well. In the same fashion. Stun ready for sheydos. It's going out a little bit early, not going to catch them on the crossover. 57 seconds, plenty of time for Fnatic to change direction on this one. They don't have to commit towards an A play. They're going to.
Yeah, and the flank's a little bit late. Like, the remaining players are still pushing through. sheydos needs some sort of hero play here, if anything. He's got a little bit of support, but getting out of here is going to be very, very difficult. And they're almost just trying to buy as much time as possible for this flank, which is finally coming through. But as said, it's just a little bit late. MAGNUM coming up with a couple, and now you look at Defo and Nat's positions. Well, after a while, you have to feel like Fnatic are going to predict this. And you can see it. MAGNUM's watching.
Yeah, they've got enough players to cover every angle. That's a great stun! Both players fully stunned up, but again... what? What? I saw it!
Taking Heaven control, and then they went all the way back through spawn. I think they were expecting Fnatic to actually wrap back around and they would catch them in mid, and, well, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, certainly didn't come to reality. So this is us once again pushing up to that OT. M3C Mech on the attack, taking their way to the A site, stun up, and have the same fast lane towards the site. And by the looks of things, this one's going to be completely uncontested. A free plant for this attacking side. At least so far, it's free. See what Boaster's able to do. Oh, this nade is nice. It's actually going to force them out a little bit, doing some decent damage along the way. The 1-for-1 trades, the flash to follow, and Nats just keeps on going still. Only the 1 kill to go his way, which leaves sheydos trapped in this corner. They all know that he's here, the whole team grouping up, rushing in. He's still good for 1, but Mistic will deal with him right after.
It's the best opportunity anyone's had on a defensive side so far. Mistic and Boaster, are they going to check the angle? Chronicle just hiding in the corner, and he's going to land both shots with a little help from his friends.
For that and everything. Gotta give him props. Well, 16 to 15, we got 1 left to go. Perhaps if M3C can make this happen. Mech looking for the 17th here and now, and it's Derke rushing out on mid, but a different approach out of Mech. Chronicle's waiting for them to go by. I think he's got an idea of what he wants to do, of punishing them in the late round. I've seen it before where they attempted to go. Oh, whoa, they're actually pushing up through rope. Before we saw them attempt this, but they weren't able to get anything done on account of Fnatic so quickly making it through rope. This time they actually send Redgar in to fight them as well. That's a convincing opening duel now. Mech have finally figured out their mid-hold, and what a time to do it.
Yeah, they have just spammed so much utility just to kill Derke, and it is 100% worth it. The man is down, and now you don't have the tip of the spear on that Fnatic side anymore. And look at this setup that they've got. Complete Heaven control, patiently waiting for this push to come through. sheydos still with his utility, even the fault line coming back online as they attempt to try and come back up, but Brave hits an instant headshot. Are they going to check though? Will they expect Redgar? He checks it as well. That's the A site open for business. Brave now stepping up to the plate, and that early kill, everything spent to kill off Derke. Well, there was another man with CIS blood in his veins.
This leaves us into a pretty grim situation. The run back in. Look at how much information is just completely blank for Mech. I mean, they're seeing that there's no one in vents. Little do they know, you've actually got Brave waiting to late flank them out through heaven. They're kept back by some utility on the ramp. Fnatic are just boxing them in. They're gonna go for it being OT. And Defo's dropped down. That's at least a good kill to start it. This is where Brave needs to be huge on the flank. Magnum at least able to grab one. The defuse underway. They'll swing into it, stopping it at the start. Now things get dangerous. Halfway or just about. Brave coming around the corner, though. He stopped the defuse. He's running the clock down. Defo wants the swing, and surely that's it one on time now.
Oh, I don't think he's got it. It's going to be close. It must have been so ridiculous.
Well,
whatever Brave's contract is, extend it by double.
They're still in the running. On the back of, I mean, you say sometimes the games are decided by a split second, by a small
That's a
decision.
split second.
0.02. And that's what stops you in your tracks, what keeps one team alive in this upper bracket run. Oh, good tag. What stops the other from already having flights booked. We go into this next OT, and Fnatic have got to be feeling good. No pauses still. You know, these teams are not catching their breath after that one. They're instead right back into the fray. 55 seconds left on the clock, and Mech, while they're about to challenge Boaster, this Heaven control has been decently favorable for Mech the majority of the time. Flash attempt by Boaster, but he's not going to follow up. He's just buying time, keeping them back for now, keeping them at bay. But in fact, Mech, well, they're going back on their own. They want to go all the way back and play B. Do they maybe think the rotates have come through? Because if they do, they're very wrong. Okay, they're going back again.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, and in fact, the problem now is there's actually nobody remaining over on this A side other than, well, the Magnum, someone who's been fantastic so far, but this is a little bit of an ask. He's actually going to commit to the site. He has to isolate the jewels, and while the flash will catch him just a split second before he's able to get the kill. Nothing the remaining players could do to deny this plant at least, and while it's looking like another good position for Mech.
It certainly is. Fnatic's retake certainly not to be scoffed at, but it's this.
No.
It's that. Nat's right up behind, sneaking his way on in. The rest of the team tucked in their corners, waiting, allowing Nats to make this play, and there it is. He strikes at just the right time. 17-16.
Fnatic not willing to let this one go just yet, but each time they're the one with the pressure on, and you have to feel like eventually Mech are going to take this over the line. Eventually, they'll manage to get one of these defensive rounds. This time, Chronicle's actually being a little bit more cheeky in towards B, but it's the mid play. Every single time, it's the mid play.
Yeah, the control on this map is just so important, taking over. It's not even about on the attack side what it opens up. It's about what it takes away from the defenders, and that's the key part. It lengthens the rotations, and it just adds a whole part of the map that they've got to be super worried about. And obviously, you can play those nasty little angles in. With a minute left on the clock, Fnatic are going to be playing this one with the same way we've seen it time and time again. This flash works perfectly for someone in the corner. Paranoia takes them down in heaven with good timing. They're not using the blast pack here, so it's a little bit slower than normal. Great pick by Defo. That's Derke down, but Magnum, well, he'll dig deep to fight back. Eliminating Nats, open up the B side slightly, but Chronicle, oh, you can't expect him to just walk through like this. This timing is fantastic. He's gonna swing through, but Magnum's ready somehow, and he's even spotted another.
sheydos is here trying to delay them. He's given at least a little bit of time. He actually peeks into the fragment, but the flash is solid. Defo will be forced back. He started this round off with a pick. He's hoping to get a little bit more, and although the time is low, they should have plenty to get themselves the plant. Redgar trying to get back in through heaven. Might know that there's a player close, but Brave is just waiting and watching the clear. Not quite going to come through in time, and now it's left on to the IGO in a 1v3. Does an extra little bit of damage, but it does look like this game is going to continue onwards unless he can find something unbelievable.
A jump piece coming through, just about to spot him. There you go. I swing out, no response from him, no kill on the back. He's actually going to reposition entirely. Ooh. But it almost works out. As we go into yet another overtime, the question remains, when is the defensive side going to see all the love again?
Oh my
God. Another push down mid. braveaf, good for the opening, and they're out. They're not going to be greedy this time. Defo's going to try to see space elsewhere and actually does a pretty fine job of it. He's right into the site.
Yeah, the snake bite not doing anywhere near as much damage as maybe they hoped it would. One goes down, Derke. He's found another, and the trades this time are going in Fnatic's favor. 2 players remaining. Chronicle, he's spotted. And actually, the rest of the team, they haven't turned around. They haven't looked back. Somehow he manages to get an opportunity, but it won't be enough. Fnatic will take the first defensive round. I have to say that the balls on them to go for that mid-peak once again. They did that, what, once? I think in the entirety of regulation, as like a cheeky palate cleanser to what was
Looking to take it towards the B side, but we're still going to see that mid-aggression out of Derke by the looks of things.
Well, they had 5 attempts to do this in regulation.
Flash.
They've been given another shot after plenty on the other side. Chronicle, he's still going walkabout. Now, it looks like they might go back and try and shut him down. It definitely has its risks about it, challenging this man, especially when he has the ability to fade away. But they've done incredibly well of shutting down these pushes. And, well, Chronicle this time's not going to stick around too long.
He's right back to the site with that anchor. The beauty of being able to just TP out of there and rendezvous with your teammates. With 1 round to go, Fnatic, well, they're not quite thinking about jumping into a site head first and giving it all away. Instead, they'll actually get detected by the knife in perfect timing as they start the rotate around towards the B side. And that's defo eliminated. Derke's mid fights, man. He might win them in the start of the round every time. This time he delays it, walks up B heaven, takes the kill, and puts enormous pressure on these players on site. And look at sheydos. He's been blinded up multiple times, yet still he's able to get a kill. Repositioned down below, and that's another gorgeous stuff by sheydos. Here comes his teammate to help him out as well.
Oh my god, how is he alive? And when they need him the most, sheydos has come up with 3, and well, he's even, they've even got the stun there. There's no way the Boaster gets away with that one. Finally, and well, right now, flip a coin.
Well, we're coming into OT with, in case you guys didn't notice, with Derke on an operator. He's playing that towards a ramp. This guy's got like 37 kills right now, and he's pulling out the op. Truly disgusting. Oh, okay.
He's trying to bait. He's baiting the steps.
Yeah, running around the circle. I like
He
it.
did that last time they played as well outside B main. He basically throws up the wall, try and baits the steps that they've already made it through. The fact that maybe try and get rid of some of the utility on the other side. It doesn't seem like Fnatic have fallen for it, but hey, nothing really lost from it.
Yeah, worth the attempt for sure. Any misinformation you can get out there always going to be worthwhile. 55 seconds are coming up on Mech, still with the mid control. It's been given up every single round by both teams, so no surprises there. They know they're going to have to fight into B heaven, and they've got a knife up in just a second. Well, at 3 seconds or so. You can play that for the information up towards B heaven, I'd imagine. Try to skirmish here, play the fake. You know, we've seen this a couple times from Mech. And yeah, same thing's going to come through. That flash works.
Derke moves.
30 seconds
Oh,
left.
that's kind of risky. Derke is still there, though.
There, he moved away, but then went back for the peak. He's delayed them as well with the nade. And the problem now, Mitch, is there's only 20 seconds left on the clock. And do they expect Magnum to still be here? He's done this before, looks to do it again. And they're just running out of time. They have to get into the site. The spike is currently going through heaven. Are they attempting to go back to B? I don't even think they have enough time for this. Completely lost the plot towards the end, but it didn't even matter. Round was already over. A good read, a good hold from Fnatic, and
you make a mistake like that now, Fnatic exploit a little bit of a window like that, and all of a sudden, you know, you're on the back foot now, having to make your defensive side work when the attacks look great so far. We get a little bit shaky, get a little bit scary. And the Fnatic side, oh, they're gonna catch Chronicle. Oh, they're gonna, the whole team's walking around the corner.
Well, he's gonna catch them, bitch.
There you go.
Mistic down. That's your smokes, or at least one of your controllers gone. And with the wall or the screen down on the other side of the map, it means this hold is, well, basically he's got free roam to just try and brawl versus him. And I am not surprised that Fnatic go, you know what? I don't fancy that one.
Not when he has the op like that, yeah. And especially because it's a chamber. Not only are you going to run into the op on long range without the ability to smoke him off, but then you're also going to have to play onto the second time that he shoots. He can just TP.
This setup's so gross. It's just there every time. Stun into a second stun. Sheydos is already going to drop one. Magnum gets a good timing, but it doesn't really matter so much. And now they have to try and get rid of Nats at the back of this site. He has been an absolute rock when it comes to this defensive side. Trying to clear him out is just going to be impossible. And here's all that utility just going down. Grab world to delay them. Good luck for this one. Nats will close it 19-19 these games.
Yeah, I want you to break down every round.
I have something from every round. I might need that break, to be honest. I might need it. I don't know if I'm ready for another series because we don't even know when this is going to end.
If it's going to end. A difference from Fnatic, they try to play aggressive on mid. I guess not a difference when we've seen Brave and Derke do it a couple of times. M3C, good for the control to start with, and they are rolling over that A side. Redgar starting to really show up. And this is scary now. Oh, no. Quick kills by Fnatic. Mistic getting a double on sight. He drops the spike. He goes in for more. And Mistic just cannot be stopped. This man was off at the start of the last round, and he took that personally. 2v1 with Nats having to clutch it. This was looking like a convincing attacking round for Mech. And my God, it has fallen apart quickly.
Oh, he's still alive and kicking, though. Doesn't know where Brave currently sits. He's going to sit there and wait, as it will be a difference maker.
Really and truly. With that 20-19 we go. Fnatic, once again, so close to securing their spot. Let's see if they've got what it takes this time. Mech playing very passive in towards B, having great stuns. And that's exactly what they were baiting for with that passive play. They want to punish Fnatic now. Let them take the space, and then they'll snatch it right back. 20-20. I'm going to call it here because Magnum... I don't think he's getting away with this one.
So, Mitch, I think... what do we call...
Last time, 48 rounds on bind? FPX?
I don't even remember.
46, I think.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was 46. It was
24
to 22. So I don't even want to think about that, I'll be honest. Let's see how this
50.
one goes first.
Let's hit double digits in the threes. Let's make it happen.
Oh, dear God.
Hey, it could if things keep going this way. We've had attack side, we'd have defense side. It doesn't matter. These teams, they're fighting tooth and nail. You see how much it means. God, this has been like a 4-hour series. They've got to be drained at this point. Moving into round 41. Mech have got control over the A side. A plan found as well, but Fnatic, once again, they planned for this. They wanted to play the retake if it came down to an A hit. Now we get to see what they've got up their sleeve for it.
It's been a battle for ramp almost every single time, and well, the HP is traded back, but not much else. We've also got an aftershock, just trying to delay them being able to take that control. If this nade goes through, Nats is almost definitely dead. So incredibly low on HP, and actually, he's just going to be stuck in the mud, but they've held onto it, at least for now. And the time is ticking. He's going to clip the edge, though. Can't survive that extra piece of utility. Redgar, though, is almost instant with the trade. Bringing things back. sheydos there as well. Clinical as ever. And once again, it comes down to what looks like an impossible scenario, and Mistic can get nothing done.
Right here, right now. Defensive side, weapons coming through. No operator again. You know, I'm kind of surprised not seeing them pull it through. I didn't think Derke would be the one to pull it out of everyone here, especially with someone like Chronicle playing what he is.
It's just a game of chicken at this point. Chronicle's pushed every single part of the map in different rounds, so there's no surprise that you can see this default being held. Control being challenged for in towards the ropes, and well, Defo already going for a bit of a quick rotate. That probably would have been heard, but I think that was his plan. That was the game all along. Fake the footsteps and then go walking back. Brave might just go pushing into this because he thinks that the man on the other side is gone. Instead, he's holding within this smoke. Now, the wall could actually displace him completely. Instead, he just holds position. And what Derke needs to try and clear him out. Instead, he's actually killed off Nats.
He didn't even try. I mean, why? How? That's what Nats is going to be asking. Defo's down too. Oh God. Fnatic, they're fighting their way right back into this one despite sheydos' kill, and I like this Boaster coming in on the flank. He's heard the steps, heard the rotates. He's not going to play all the way through, not wanting to give away that advantage. Instead, they'll take the plant, and it's a quite passive one as well. Considering the control over Heaven, they opt instead to play it in on default. It's going to make it harder to hold on to in the late round. As Meg begins to
Mistic.
push back out, though, Chronicle falls. And that's a devastating blow, really. You've already used up a lot of your utility here as sheydos. They've got to win some fights right now, or this one's going to be going to another OT.
He's hoping for that spam, but not going to get anything from it. And you could just see how passive they're holding. Not giving anything up, not giving that extra space. And while Redgar needs to spin on a dime to find these remaining...
And now mid control is actually swinging towards defensive side sometimes in early fights. I mean, we've seen Fnatic with Derke and Brave push down here. Even in this round, the wall is here to play with, and Brave is trying to fight it. And these teams are gaining the confidence slowly to at least make it more costly in terms of utility and time in taking control over this mid-B area.
Oh, Chronicle. It's close. Mistic has been taking that jump peak for the majority of rounds. It's something they can predict, and no doubt, again, it's ropes control for Defo. The wall is up in spot, though, so they don't really need to worry so much, and with Boaster still holding this control, again, it's just almost a bait out of utility, but with the position of the spike being outside B, that seems to be the point of call, at least for now, and with Boaster slowly making his rotation back, mainly because Derke has got the rest of the spots locked down, they might actually have the right read here.
Enemy suppressed.
Well, that suppression coming through certainly gives a little bit of information to play with. Boaster to try to catch a few of these shots in through the smoke, but nothing to land.
30 seconds
That
left.
harassment coming out of Fnatic yielding nothing. They're going to have to play a hard retake on this again. These players trapped in towards the spawn. They're even late coming through ropes, but sheydos is watching for it. They're coming slowly, though. They're conscious that he could be sat in any of these corners. I mean, that was a nice swing by sheydos, to be honest. He timed that perfectly, but Derke is just way too quick.
And now 5v4, an opportunity here for them to get back in. Nats already shuts down one, though, and the trades have started to go back thick and fast. Fnatic swing back themselves, leaving it all onto Nats alongside Chronicle, and Chronicle's left alone. The retake is superb from Fnatic. They'll be the first to hit 22, and well, once again, it's going to happen. They've just been holding on, similarly to what we saw earlier in the game when Defo was doing exactly the same thing.
Well, there's a distinct difference in the first 10 seconds there. You see Fnatic do nothing on middle. They don't even use the boom bot. That's very, very different considering they've consistently been aggressively seizing that control. It's because the entire team is moving here this time. 3 players up in heaven, the spike there as well. And as we're seeing that lineup of the paranoia, they want to fight this. Now, it's come through a couple of times. This time, though, paranoia is for down below, and it's going to catch the players who are trying to stop them, but sheydos is above it. He's able to at least catch the first. That's all he'll get this time, though. Fnatic really upping the pace. They've got the site control, they've got the advantage, and Mech are having to play a retake with one less player, with no sheydos to flash them in or stun them up. Even a little bit of damage taken here by Redgar. This is going to be a tough round. We might just be looking at the final one playing out, and in fact, Tom, just take a look at Derke. He's running
such a rat
all the way, and this is perfect because Fnatic have got the time to do this. They've got players on site. They still have 2 snake bites on MAGNUM. He has a post plant set up inside of B main, and then late play flank.
flash.
This is their round. I'm gonna call it now. Mech don't win this. I mean, they need a god tier performance to get out alive in this one. They have to catch Derke, and they've done none of it. Fnatic win this one out.